Thank you, Veronica. At this moment, I would like to give an opportunity for James Wong. Please accept me.
Good morning. For those of you that don't know, my name is Jamie. I'm Ssantosotj's grandson. For many of us that know her, obviously, I'd like to share with you my own personal experience about her as her grandson, her first grandson. Now, if there's anything that you take away from this funeral, there's three main points for me that stood out that made her an excellent grandparent. And I think that most grandparents that are great grandparents, exhibit some or all of these three qualities, these 3 points. So the first point is that number one, she would verbally reprimand me whenever I was naughty, and she would always steer me in the right direction. And number two, she would encourage me when I was down. And number three, when points number two and points number one failed, she'd give me a good kick in the butt. And I knew that she did that all because of love. And for all the people and all the young kids that call Children's Aid for getting beatings from parents and grandparents, they have it all wrong. Because if it wasn't for her, all of our family members wouldn't be where we are today. She was the nucleus of our family, and her boisterousness was infectious. And there was just this positive energy and this vibe about her that just transcended across 3-4 generations, and that just imbued the home with love and energy that it carries forward to this day. A lot of people say, whether they look up to idols that you see on TV or sports figures, and people say, oh, this person or that person was legendary. Well, my grandmother was legendary, every single day of her life. My uncle, my aunt spoke about this earlier. During World War II, in Indonesia, the hospital was run by a group of doctors from the Netherlands. And my grandmother and 2 or 3 of her friends said, okay, let's go to this hospital and let's apply for a job there, despite not having any education, despite not having any iota of any sort of medical background. She went and she applied for a job at this hospital that was run by doctors from the Netherlands. And very, very quickly, she learned the ropes, and she basically, was in charge of her own small team. She bathed about probably 100 babies in a day, and I think that record still stands. I don't know how she did it, but she just had this constant, unrelenting energy, and in many ways, she motivated me and she galvanized me to be the person that I am, and I can say that for the rest of my family as well. One of the things also about her was, despite not having any education, I walked in on her and my aunt. They were watching an Italian soap opera one time, and not speaking the language, she was telling my aunt, okay, this person got divorced with this person, that person is involved with this person's having an affair with that person. I watched it for 5 minutes. I couldn't make heads and tails of this show, but she was able to tell me what's going on. And that's incredible for somebody with no education, and I think that for myself personally, that sort of really inspired me to better myself. One of her hobbies, aside from cooking and taking care of the family, and I guess my uncle and my aunt sort of talked about that earlier, she was a really, really selfless person. And she gave her all to her for her family members. One of her hobbies, well, she had many hobbies, but one of them was watching action movies. You know, she'd just sit down on the couch, lie down on the couch and watch like Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee and Sylvester Stallone. And every once in a while, you know, I would watch with her. And later on, I found out why she liked action movies so much. Like, because every time I was naughty, she would use Bruce Lee's moves on me. Kick my ass every now and then. And you know, more often than not, I deserved it and I needed it, and I thank her for that. The other thing about her was, like, she was so street smart. You know, there was one time, or many times, her second hobby was Saturday morning would go with my mom, garage sales. She loved going to garage sales. She loved bargaining. She loved getting a great deal. You know, like, you know, so a couple times, come home, my mom and her would walk into the house. She's like, check with this hockey stick I bought for you and Johnny. And I was like, yeah, they were asking for $8, $10 for it. We got it for $2. So, you know, those were really, really good times because I still remember the sticks that they bought from the garage sales, and I would use them. Me and my brother would play in front of the garage, and you know, for countless hours, shoot. My brother was a goalie, and I would just use those sticks that my grandmother bought at the garage sale, shoot at my brother. Those were really fun times. You know, so she really, really inspired all of us, and she had this selflessness about her. Not only that, but she was very, very emotionally strong, physically strong, and mentally strong. And she was fearless. I never saw her afraid of anything. She basically, when we were small, she would catch all the mice in the house. And she would figure out ways how to trap them, and she'd figure out ways how to prevent them from coming in. The only time that in my life, anyways, that I saw my grandmother afraid was when my friend came over to the house for the first time. And then, so she comes up to me afterwards, comes up to my mom, like, yeah, Jamie has this huge friend, this big Tamil guy, and I was terrified of him. So my mom told my grandmother, like, oh, don't worry, you know, Tua is a really, really good guy. And over time, you know, my grandmother got to know Tua, and she got to like Tua too. So thanks for that. You know, it's just an honor to know her, and she'll always be in our heart. And so, Popo, enjoy heaven, enjoy spending time with my mom. We're really, really